One.
Hey. Tonight we are doing a core micro mashup. We're using the free open source core micro system. We're throwing in a bunch of the hacks that have been created for it as well, including the base system that it was pulled from Daytrippers. Also the World Wildlife Association, which is an animals wrestling, which will come in. That'll be fun later on. And we're also going to do some monster hunting as well. But before all that, we're going to go through basics of mechanics, and we're going to do some character creation and all that kind of stuff. So so we were talking about just before we came on about the basic mechanics of it. So everyone can see the 6 main stats of the system. So we have, I'm going to scroll up so I can read them so I don't screw this up. So we have your brains, which is basically all your knowledge. Charm, which is how nice you are and how pretty you are. Grace is all about your dexterity, and your health is kind of like your fortitude and constitution. Might is how strong you are, and your psyche is like your sanity and wisdom, almost, if we're going to kind of do comparisons between some other well-known RPGs. So the way that it all works for the whole base of the system is so you have a pool of D6s that you're going to roll. And whenever you roll them, you pick whatever's higher. You don't add them up. You don't do anything like that. So if you roll 3 D6s and you get a 2, a 5, and a 3, well, that 5 is your number. And you add whatever bonuses you have to that. It's actually pretty simple. It took me way too long to understand the system because I thought I was making it way more complex than it actually is. And yeah. But so for tonight, we are going to be doing some basic character creation. So we're going to use the template method, which is, for me, from what I've found, the easiest way to go. So if you look at the core book on page 15, we're going to be going 150 points, or the professional character. So I find what this allows, especially since we're tacking on Monster Hunt at the end of this, those characters tend to get a little bit more beefed up. So the heroic is just, you end up with super beefy characters. So I found that professional gives like a nice little balance there. So basically what you want to do is just pick one of these types of outcomes. So you can put 4 and 2 stats and then pick 2 skills, 4 and 1 stat, 3 and 1 stat, 2 and 1 stat, that kind of stuff. And so you basically want to kind of pick one of those and throw in some numbers. Do we have any idea what kind of characters you want to play tonight?
I grabbed the hunter already, but I can always swap to something else if somebody wants to do it.
Yeah. I'll be a sage.
Oh, I already have a sage.
All right, you be a sage. All right, fine. I'll be a medic.
Okay, good. At least one of us needs to be able to heal somebody.
Heal? What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Make sure we don't die.
So we got hunter, sage, medic, hunter.
Yep.
Sage, medic. I'll go for scout then.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's a well-rounded team right there. Not bad.
Oh, who would have guessed?
So let's see. For our medic, it looks like they're they tend to kind of lean on either brains or health. So it would probably be good to put one of your higher numbers into that.
All right.
And then also like grace.
So I know you mentioned we were going 150. Do you mind explaining again what that means? Us being professional?
That is just there is a way to do point buy in the system. But that requires you to actually like do math and break down the cost of all the skills. So what the template does is it's almost like the 15, 14, 13, 12, 10 from D&D.
Yes.
So it basically takes it and it's like, okay, we did the math for you.
Okay. Yes.
So all those outcomes that you see underneath that 150 point professional.
Yes.
So those all equal 150 points if you were to actually do the math out.
So what is the pool of numbers? I went to that page you mentioned, at least in the core hunting or the World of Hunting Monsters. It doesn't seem to be on that page 15.
Actually, nope. So there's two different books right now. We're looking at the first one, the core micro book.
Got it.
I'm
if it'd be faster, do you mind just telling me what the pool of numbers I can distribute will be?
Just because I'm also on page 15 and I don't have that.
That's you two are on the Monster Hunt book. That's why.
Yes.
No, I'm in core micro and it says progressive character creation.
I think
it might be.
Oh, you know why? It's page 13, but it's so it's page 15 digitally, but actually page 13 of the book.
Okay, so I got it.
I gave you the wrong number. Yeah.
I was just so confused.
Oh.
I don't understand.
It's me looking at the index and not the actual page number. That's why.
So what's the pool of numbers we can distribute?
So you can either you can put a 4 into 2 stats and make a 2 skills at +5 at +2.
Sure.
So that's your first option. Your second option is that you can put a 4 in 1 stat, a 3 in 1 stat, a 2 in 1 stat, and then do 2 skills at +2. You could then also do a 3 in all of your stats and then have 2 skills at +2. That's kind of a nice, well-rounded jack of all trades.
That's the one I took.
There you go.
I might do that too.
There you go. You could also do a 3 in 3 stats, a 2 in 3 stats, and then 1 skill at +3.
Don't let them tell you what to do, Tim.
No, that looks good.
Yeah. Then you could do 3 in 3, 2 in 2, and then 1 skill at +2.
Oh
you do
Stop confusing
so
me.
many numbers.
So much. Yep.
So many numbers.
There are. Hey, you're the one that wanted me to read them off to you.
Yeah, I was.
For a well-rounded character, the 3 in all stats and then 2 skills at +2 is like a nice choice. And then you'll get some variation when you actually get into your specialty.
Beautiful. Okay.
There you go. So are we just going with 3 in all stats?
I am, yes.
All right.
I apologize for my camera changing.
I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat.
All right. So let's see. Let's go over to the specialties then. So first we have the medic. So you are going to put a +1. You're going to add 1 to either your brains or your health score.
I'm probably going to put it into brains.
There you go. And then you can add a +1 to 2 of the following skills. So either crafting, expertise, medicine, rhetoric, or survival.
Let's see. All right.
And then we'll say just for the sheer point of the game, we'll do 1 point in either alchemy, mend, or therapy. So alchemy, you can craft, when you craft elixirs, you can create an elixir of an item bonus equal to your alchemy score, or you can create an additional quantity of that elixir. For mend, that seems for mend, you can provide a character 1 bonus point to grace, health, or might for a number of frames equal to your score. Or therapy does the same thing except for, the mental stats, brains, charm, and psyche. So basically, mend is healing physical damage, and therapy is healing mental damage.
I think mend sounds good. Let's do mend.
Right on.
And then for my skill points, I'll probably do medicine and survival.
Nice.
And then since I chose the 3 across the board, I can put another one I can put another one to both of those, yes?
Yeah, you can do that as well.
All right.
You can actually do let's see, 3 into yep, so you can actually do those 2 skills at an additional +2. So if you just want to concentrate on those 2 skills, you'll have a +3 in medicine and survival.
Sounds good.
Right on. All right, now we have our sage.
Right.
Where knowledge is a powerful weapon. I did some really tacky flavor text on this. So you can put your stat bonus into either brains or psyche. So you can add an additional one to that. What do you want, John?
I would just say I would point out that the classes are from the Monster Hunt skin.
They
right?
are,
so
yes.
If people are following along at home, they know that it's coming out of that particular book, where the base stats for brain, psyche, and charm and all that stuff are coming out of the core micro. What do you call it? The base game, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I keep you around, John.
I'll go back in my hole now.
So yeah, you can either, depending on whether or not you want to be more book smart or have more of a mental like more more of like a therapist, to be like more of an understanding of people rather than things.
Okay.
And then you'll get to put your points. You'll get to put 1 point in either animal training, expertise, language, lore, or medicine. So you notice too, with the skills, there's a list of the skills up on page 8. And so some of them, like animal training and actually most of these skills require a focus. So like animal training will be not for a specific animal, but for like a certain type of animal. Expertise is usually in like a specific subject. Language is a certain language. Lore is a certain a certain type of history, so it'll be like a certain location or history or something like that. And medicine's medicine. So.
Okay.
And then yeah, you'll have you can choose one of these, either meteorology, so you can adjust weather rolls when it comes to generating the hunt. Weather is involved, and so basically you get to read the clouds and everything like that and kind of dictate the weather to a certain extent. Zoology. So a number of strength or weaknesses of a monster equal to your score. Or botany. So you can harvest better materials, granting a bonus equal to your score to any elixirs that crafted.
Right.
I'd probably suggest for this particular situation of a one shot, probably like meteorology or zoology would be better suited. I'm not sure you guys are going to be like crafting much. So
yeah. I was kind of leaning towards probably the zoology.
Nice.
Yeah.
Know your enemy.
Yeah.
Nice. And what skills were you looking at?
I'm thinking lore and was it animal training? Animal
training. Yeah. That's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Not bad. And so with the lore or animal training, you can either come up with what you want to focus on now, or if it comes up, if you want to kind of hold off on it. One of the cool things that core does is what they call progressive character generations. So you don't have to come up with everything right off the bat. You can come up with kind of a general idea. And this is where the CP, where your character points come into play in kind of more long-term games, where you can actually have a pool of it set aside. You don't have to spend everything ahead of time. Mm-hmm. And as things come up, you can choose to spend points to kind of generate your character that way, rather than just putting everything up front. For those two specialties, like I said, you can either come up with it now, or like when you're like, hey, I'd really like to specialize in that kind of lore because it would really help out right now. Like, you can do that. So,
yeah, I kind of want to see where we go a little bit more first.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have the Scout. So that was you, Kevin, right?
Yep, that's me.
All right. Where the wilderness is where he feels at home. So did you end up putting points into Grace or Brains?
Grace.
Great. So you're a very agile scout.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you have your skills are animal training, awareness, combat, stealth, or survival.
I think I took awareness.
And nice.
Then stealth, because I think
Megan
took the animal handling, right? So I think those two are good.
There you go. Well-rounded so far.
And then I think for my gear, I took a Viking Sunstone, even though no one's ever found one. I have
what the
one.
Hell?
So that's what they always said, that's how the Vikings were able to map out where they were going with a Sunstone, and no one really knows what it is. So I figured I would take that instead of an old-timey compass or anything like that. And then
that's awesome.
I took in a Springfield 30-06. I figured that's a pretty stereotypical hunter scout kind of weapon. So
nice.
So the one question I had is,
right. An old Springfield.
Yeah. How many Springfields are there in America, right? That was always the thing about that. There's like one in every state, I think.
So, right.
For the track, trap, and watcher. So each one of those has the track score or a trap or the watcher score. What are those based on?
That is your abilities work very much like skills in terms of buying and everything like that. So for now, we're basically going to start with one.
Okay, so each one of those would be a one. So track, trap, and watcher would be one.
No, so you get to choose one of those. So you're putting points into one of those right now. Yeah.
Okay. I would say I would go. It's either track or watcher.
Yeah. So track makes it easier to find the monster that you're hunting. That makes sense.
I'll take that one. That sounds like it's more fun for what we're doing. Wouldn't want to be a watcher though. If it's a one shot, I don't want to be just sitting around watching stuff and nothing happens. So yeah, I'll take track. And that's
all right.
That's a 1 in that, so that would add a 1 dice to that roll.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, and what would that be based on then?
So that'll come up when we generate the hunt.
Okay, gotcha. So it's not based on my other stats then. It'll be whatever.
Correct.
It'll be against whatever you're saying. Okay, gotcha.
Yep, it's specifically that. So
okay.
Yeah, so similar to remember with the sage how they could manipulate the weather score, weather outcome. So you basically get to do the same thing but for tracking the monster.
Okay. Cool.
You basically you get to make it easier on finding that.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, and finally we have the warrior, which is a warrior.
Hey, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. So yeah, did you end up going might or health for that?
So I added the extra to might.
Nice.
And then since we play Daytrippers a ton and I'm familiar with the system, I took athletics, awareness, intimidation, combat, and stealth. And then I took the bumps to intimidation and combat.
Oh, there you go.
And then I also, if you want me to change it, we can go back and change it. It says, I don't know where the hell is it. Ability start at 0. Developing them requires spending CP or XP, which costs the same as improving skills. So I spent 30 to increase Berserk by 1, Defend by 1, and Focus by 1. So 10 for each. So I wanted to have something.
See, John's used to generating characters in core. So
he knows what he's doing.
And then I took for my gear, I've got medium armor, but it's more like because the set is, so the way I'll let Jesse explain it, but it's so it's more like riot gear. So you got like Kevlar vest, he's got like one of the heavy plastic shields, but it's like camoed all out and everything. He's got a kukri that he uses as his main weapon, and he's a warrior guy.
Nice.
He's got a what?
A kukri. It's the Gurkha knife. It's the Indian like special forces. It kind of comes up and it's got a big hook on it. It's kind of like a bent machete to make it really simple.
Okay.
Cool. But it's maybe a little bit bigger than a gladius. It's maybe about as thick, a little bit thicker where it bends and then comes to a taper.
Yeah, it's got like a nice little belly curve to it.
Let me see. I could throw up a thing in the private chat here.
I think it's a Gurkha thing, right? I think it is.
Yeah.
You two keep saying that, and all I'm thinking about is pickles.
That's all I'm thinking, and I'm like, I know that's not what you're talking about.
It's a pickle knife.
You can't say that though, because I can only get Vlasic pickles if I import them, and they're like $5 a jar. So
no way! Oh,
all the pickles over here suck.
Oh man,
I do remember that.
Well, to be fair, it's England. All food over there sucks.
Pretty much.
Should we be bringing our armor and weapons also?
Yep. So you get to choose three pieces of gear, basically.
Okay.
And you can make it whatever you want.
Okay, so if I went with the 2, I think I'm gonna have to go with a Bowie knife, right? That's pretty stereotypical for a scout. So I'll go Bowie knife also.
Does he wear a coonskin cap? He's got a leather jacket with all the fringes and shit on it.
All I'm hearing right now is banjos.
What was he's got turquoise rings and turquoise necklace, all that kind of stuff.
I love it. Lots of silver. Yeah.
What I love too. So this is like all right. So for the setting, we'll go over that real quick. It's like it is future. We have the technology. Yeah. It's a point in time where we have the capability to hop between dimensions and go to other worlds, right? So what you do is basically sport. So you're in it for the game and for the for the glory. But what I imagine with Kevin's character is he's clearly read some books, and so that is what he's all like, the persona of like this 1800s trapper. It's just like what he puts on to gain attention.
He did Ancestry.com, and he totally is related to Davy Crockett. That's what it is.
These two heroes I've heard of that were very good scouts, Lewis and Clark, I believe.
I went to Disney World when I was like 9, and I think I did buy one of those raccoon skin caps. So. From a personal standpoint, I think I did do that in the past.
That's pretty great.
You know what sucks though? We're actually like big game hunters in this world, and I fucking hate it. Like the equivalent, right? Like morally, it's just
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Fuck all those people that do that.
Yeah.
So, for the armor and weapons, is the gear in that list of 3 things that we can pick, or is that its own?
Is it just like a free for all?
Yeah, it's pretty much there. There are suggestions for gear in the book, but those are just mostly there to provide examples. Ultimately, gear is just something that gives you a bonus or allows you to do something. So be creative with it, be narrative with it. If you want like a like Samus or Attack on Titan style grappler shooter that allows you, or what the hell was that video game from the NES?
Spider-Man. Oh, Spider-Man. No.
Well, all right, it's fine. No, there was a game from NES that they then remade on like PS2, where you like shot your hand out and like grappled onto stuff and like swung around Commando? The levels. Commando, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you basically anything you want, you can have. As long as you can put a reason behind it and tell me what it does. That's all that counts.
Okay. But you said there was like a list of 3 things that we can choose
from. So you can have you can get 3 pieces of gear. Whatever those 3 are is totally up to you.
Okay. So it doesn't have to be like 1 armor, 1 weapon, and then 1 gear. It could be anything. Okay.
It can be anything, yep. I'd suggest you have a weapon on you. But other than that, everything else is up to you. And even what kind of weapon you have is totally up to you. We have a kukri and a Springfield rifle, which I'm assuming it's not like an actual Springfield, because those things are like in museums. Yeah. You probably have like a 3D printed copy of
yeah, like I said, he's living in the like John said, he's taking on that. So yeah, he says it's a Springfield, but yeah, it's definitely not.
Yeah,
it looks like a Springfield.
So for Tim and Megan, it says you could start with 4 pieces of common or uncommon armor and weapons, along with 3 pieces of gear. So if you wanted to grab armor and a weapon, it's hard to carry 4, I guess. I mean, unless you're dual wielding, I suppose. And
say that again. 4 pieces of.
I just fucking lost it. 4 pieces of common or uncommon armor and weapons. Okay. So between your armor and weapons, you get 4 pieces, and then 3 pieces of gear or tools.
Got it. Okay, that helps. I am not a cat. I'm going to turn that off. I have my face swapper linked to my number pad, so when I'm like typing, it changes my face around. And
jeez.
And since I'm like in accounting, I use the actual number pad, and so like as I'm
yep.
Okay, so I have 4 pieces of gear, then I switch my face to a banana. All right.
Yeah, so
I-
you'll see with the in terms of so when it says common or uncommon, that just basically means how readily available something is.
Yeah.
So if you'll see, like, for armor, light armor and a shield is common.
Mhm.
Medium armor, which is, again, whatever, like, for instance, Carter is rocking like riot gear is like basis. So almost like if you think of like or if we're looking at the Avengers, right?
Sure.
Black Widow is wearing light armor, right?
Mhm.
It's like leather, kind of reinforced. Then we have Captain America, who is wearing like ballistic armor and all that kind of stuff with the shield. And then heavy is Iron Man, who's wearing like metal armor.
Right.
Okay.
I like it.
And then, the same thing. Your weapons, a lighter or medium weapon is going to be common. It's when you start getting into like giant weapons that those are going to take like uncommon.
What would you consider like a staff cattle prod?
That's a light weapon.
Keep it light. Okay.
Yeah, it's small.
What is the advantage of wielding two?
You can hit things more.
Okay, like more often.
There
I'm gonna have a shock staff. I'm gonna have two.
you go. They're like electric tonfas.
Pretty
Like-
much. Yeah. Pretty much.
You can't add your proficiency bonus with the offhand, though, right? I think there's a feat for that.
I'll do medium armor and a shield, and then my little shock tonfa. Tonfa.
Your little shock stick.
Yeah.
Tonfa.
Nice.
Thank you, tonfas. For some reason, it was just so hard for me to say what that was.
It's a tricky word.
Can I actually do that, like gas propelled grappling hook you were mentioning? So I can
Yeah,
pull
sure,
myself
why not?
away? Okay.
Yeah. Little nitrogen charges. That's a pretty heavy medic.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
I'm more of a.
He's got
a
a guy that
tank
you got to
medic.
get into it.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then I think I'm gonna do a vial of acid. And would you allow like a?
Yes.
Would you allow like a thing that I can throw into the ground and gas for healing? I don't know if that's a thing.
Make sure the acid bottle's labeled. Not
Yeah. Pretty much, yes.
I would probably say something like that needs to be like if you were looking like at like an area of effect style.
If you just
heal.
want, if you just wanted one single person, I'm down. I'm okay with that. too.
yeah,
As long
I'd
as
say
I don't
one,
actually,
yeah.
I don't actually have to administer it like directly. I can just toss it on them like that hero from Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I think I know what my other piece of gear is. It's a fucking flask of whiskey.
I'm good.
I mean, you could even say like as a medic, you could do it could almost be like a dart gun style thing, or
Yeah.
like you're
Ooh.
shooting like globs of
Okay.
of junk at the people in order to heal them.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. Yeah, it's just like a giant glob that like hits the wound and like immediately cauterizes
I'm already labeling it healing dart.
it. How about you, Megan? We have our wannabe riot cop, Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone.
The best way I can describe it is like if you've ever watched like Doomsday Preppers.
Yep.
the people with like the combat boots and camo pants and like the reflective heavy jacket with the hood and the gas mask.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh,
like, she's not wearing the gas mask, but it's strapped to her hip.
Okay, just in case.
Just in case we need it.
Beautiful.
Well, we're like two peas in a pod then, I guess.
Yes.
Right. That's like hardcore survivalist right there. I like it.
It's kind of where I'm thinking, like.
That's awesome.
And then
so is your lore like super specific, like how the government is like controlling everybody through 5G or whatever? Like, is that your lore?
5G.
There's a secret cabal of like.
It's the future. It's like 9G now.
9G.
27G.
And we're all magnetic.
I've got some literature for you to. I've got some literature for you to read.
Take this pamphlet.
Driving around in a bunker truck.
Tim has a sandwich board on him with all kinds of markers on it, black marker written on it.
In terms of weapons, I don't know if a net counts as a weapon or
it does, yeah.
Gear.
You know what? Let's count that. I mean, that would basically be it. It's like part of column A, a little column B. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm cool going with either way. Like.
Yeah. Let's let's treat it as like a weapon, and then you can still have a few pieces of gear.
Okay, cool.
We'll say you got that gas mask.
Yes.
So.
And a lot of red string. There's a lot of red yarn.
A lot of red yarn.
Yep.
Pair of binoculars.
Nice. There you go.
And then I'm also thinking probably just like a massive hunting knife.
Oh, nice.
Like one of the ones that fold.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to decide on one other one. And
is your I'm almost thinking the net picturing the net launcher as like a giant net, like a net launcher.
Yeah,
like you have like this big cannon, like a giant air cannon that's just like loaded with like a 20-foot net in it.
Yes, I like it.
I imagine the guns
launcher.
from SpongeBob when they thought they were in a different planet. Like...
Yes. I was thinking bear traps, but I like that so much better. Yes. SpongeBob net launcher.
Nice.
Yes.
Deal.
All right.
All right. Beautiful. So I have gone ahead while we were talking. I have rolled way too many dice. And I generated the world that we are going to be traveling to. So just as a brief overlay of what's going to happen, y'all are part of a hunting guild. And what you do is travel to other exotic worlds in search of strange and exotic creatures to bring back for basically everybody's amusement. And so this time, let's see here. I need a randomizer. Go ahead, and you're going to be traveling to planet XL 731, or as it's called, Nern, by some of the people who travel there more often. Despite its name, it's actually almost half the size of Earth. So it's tiny. Yet it's incredibly Earth-like. It has relatively the same gravity, a little lighter, but not quite, not as noticeable. Atmosphere and everything is pretty much the same, breathable. So there's really nothing that you have to prepare for ahead of time in that regard. Although it's not to say that your gas mask won't come in handy. It's that you won't have to hook up any oxygen to it in order to survive this trip. All right. So, real quick. All right, we got okay, so before we get going, actually, no, we'll do that once we get on the planet. Each of you, so you go to the disembarking area of the guild, which almost looks like it's very kind of stark in steel with a lot of just plain white plastic overlays and dimly lit LED screens strewn about. And y'all have done this a handful of times. You're used to it. You get put into your individual little steripods, and each of you is handed a tracker. And it's basically like a wristband almost. And the deal with them is you have 12 hours at the end of that, or you can also initiate an early return by entering your code into the watch. And at the end of the 12 hours, or whenever you initiate return, you are sucked back into this reality. You are handed, whoever wants to take it, you're given an additional larger disc. It's about the size of a Frisbee. And that is to be attached to the monster that you're going to be bringing back with you.
Would that be me grabbing that, or would that be John grabbing that? I'm trying to think.
Whoever wants to.
I could take it if you want. I gotta get in close to use
Reggie?
this. I was going for more Australian, but I'm bad at accents.
Oi, let's put some shrimp on the barbie. That's my Australian accent.
I think that would be best. I don't know where that's been, and I don't wish to touch it.
You have some Purell to spray on it while you're.
I'm not going to waste my precious cleansing gel on touching wherever that's been.
Best to save that for later.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I don't know much about this planet, but I do know that there's going to be germs there. So, if you don't mind, as I put on my little mask.
So what bridge you'll look over
is a hypochondriac medic.
So Woodbridge will look over to Carter and kind of say, "Yeah, I'll find it. You get close to it," and he'll give him the disc.
Righto. So he gets all fucking strapped in, fucking pulls out a cigar, lights it up in the pod.
Is
smoke everywhere?
Safe?
It's probably fine. Never had a problem yet.
We keep asking him not to, and he keeps doing it every single time.
Hey, what's that?
Nothing. Asshole.
He starts
the button
tapping
and close
on the
my
thing.
pod.
Come on, let's go. Time's wasting.
Guys added.
All right.
You guys added your guys' names on there. Is there a way I could edit my name on here to?
Yes, if you click the 3 buttons in your little icon on the bottom, you can change your name.
Yeah. So whenever it said, okay, let's head out, Woodbridge will kind of jump out forward and do the whole, he'll scout ahead of, or not scout. He'll walk ahead of everybody and do like the whole hand sign, put the fist up and point around and be really into it.
All right.
Take a deep breath, testing the atmosphere, taking a deep breath. He said it's
nice.
It's close to Earth atmosphere, so he seems to be all right.
Before we get to that, yeah. So your pods, they close your pods. You hear the techs talking a little bit. They say, okay, time sync. 3, 2, 1. They hit a button. All of your watches simultaneously beep. It kind of gives like a choo-choo. And then the lights go, they hit it, and then there's like this bright flash. You feel like you are ripped in half as like waves of hot and cold go through your body all at the same time. There's like flashes of black and white and blinding little spots of color all around you. And then you find yourself thrust into the ground or onto the ground, surrounded by beautiful pink sand.
I will.
I'm still
Shelby
smoking.
There's just a big trail of smoke up from where you dropped all the way back up.
We're gonna you see Shelby kind of tiptoe as much as he can, not getting as much sand onto his boots. Does it go off for a while, or do we see?
Yeah. It appears as though, so you can hear waves lapping in the distance, and it appears to come from, at the very least, all around you. So you can see way off in the distance, towards the horizon, trees and some mountains rising up. But as far as you can tell, this is you're, for the most part, surrounded by water.
Take a deep breath. Realize sand is going to get everywhere.
Now, I didn't pay attention during the briefing very much. Do we know what we're here for?
I'll look at my tracker. Which way does it point?
Our Fitbits.
Yeah. I'll tap on my
so
tracker.
those are more so well, actually, you know what we'll do, let's see here. Why don't let's have only because Shelby looked at his opened up his tracker, so why don't you go ahead and give me a D6 roll?
Just one? All right.
Yep.
A 3.
A 3. All right. So let's see here. You are here to find a scoffin. It is the creature is probably about twice the size of a lion. It's cat-like with icy blue eyes. They enjoy cold weather, which is probably why you're here. Once the debris and smoke and everything settles, you realize that the area around you is incredibly cold, almost tundrous, despite the sands that surround you right now.
Well, since you asked, Carter, and you weren't paying attention, it looks like we are looking for a scoffing. You remember
what's
those?
that?
Oh, large feline type creature. Hopefully we can find maybe cat paws and Perhaps we can go back and to our nice, clean homes.
Little sand never hurt anybody, Shelby.
You don't know. You know where the sand goes. If you're out and exposed in it long enough, it gets everywhere. Everywhere. Rosa. Everywhere.
Carter slaps you on the back. He says, you'll manage.
Oh.
Then he takes the cigar out and he takes out the kukri and he cuts the tip off. He says, all right, we're going after a cat. I don't want to be smoking this on the way, eh?
They would definitely smell it.
Perhaps. Not very familiar with this one, but hopefully the scout that we have will be able to find where it's supposed to be.
Sage, why don't you go ahead and give me a brains roll? So what you're gonna do? How many points what's your score in brains?
4.
4, nice. Okay, so you're gonna take 4 d6s, and you're gonna go ahead and roll them.
Jesse, have you looked at the private chat?
I haven't. Do we have a private chat?
There's stuff that John wants in there. You have to look at it.
It's off to the right. There's private, and the comments are like the actual page.
The problem is that my window is bigger than my screen, and it cuts off the edges.
Okay.
That's a problem.
Yes to all of that.
But how many?
Roll d6.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I only got 2.
There you go.
Something I would have expected from Salvation.
So sorry, what'd you end up rolling?
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
Like
See, there you go,
Yahtzee.
the 1, yeah, right. The 1, 2, and 3 don't matter because you got that 4. Do you have any skills or anything that you can use to bump that up? What are your skills?
Zoology, lore, or animal training?
Yeah. Well,
Good zoology, right?
have you picked what your lore is yet? You could always do it in like cryptozoology or something like that.
I don't actually know what that is.
It's the study of like strange creatures.
Okay. Then
It's technically like make-believe creatures.
Yeah, like
Cryptids
but-
and stuff.
Like
yeah.
Bigfeet.
like
got
Bigfoots and chupacabras.
Okay. Yeah,
But
'cause I was
in this instance, it's like just strange creatures.
okay. That makes sense. It's kind of where I was thinking of going, was
Oh, so there we go.
focusing on like animal history. So
Yep. Perfect.
okay.
All right. So how many points do you have in that?
3.
3. So that's a 4 plus
Damn.
3. So that's 7 right there.
Cool.
Sounds like a yes and, right?
That is a yes and yes.
All right.
So I will say, you know that you know about the Scoffin.
Okay.
You know that it, we've already gone over that likes cold weather. So I'll give you it. It also prefers, rocky or craggy terrain that has, or at least it prefers areas that give it a lot of places to hide. And I'll let you choose something else that that you know that you think will help you find this creature.
Mm. Huh.
It could be what it likes to eat, or its mating season, or any sorts of things.
I'm gonna go with it has its favorite food, like what it likes to eat, so we know what we're looking for.
All right, what would that be?
People.
Cigars. No.
Damn it.
I'm gonna go with some type of a bird.
Ooh, nice.
Like a ground-dwelling bird.
Yeah.
So while Rose is saying this, Woodbridge is going to kind of lean forward and like kind of creep over, lean his head over to make sure he gets all this information that Rose is saying. So,
well, that's good to know, Rosa. Are any of those birds within Nern?
Well, if the Scoffin's here, I'm gonna assume those birds are here, so we should probably look for nests or droppings.
Or we could use it as a lure if we find any of them.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Rosa.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, in that case, using the information that we currently have, let's go ahead and get to the hunt. So I'll just read the text because it's there and it's what I would say anyway. So before embarking on the hunt, the party must first assign roles. Each role has certain tasks they are in charge of, governed by specific stats. Roles may be filled by multiple characters except for the guide. The only role that must be filled is the guide. So if the role is not filled, then obstacles testing it are done at a +2 to the difficulty level. So basically, we have the guide, the second. So the guide is in charge of decisions concerning routes, rests, and all that kind of stuff, and it relies on brains. The second is in charge of keeping up morale and assisting when needed, and that relies on charm. The ranger is in charge of setting up camp and opening up new trails. That relies on psyche. The forager is in charge of finding food and relies on health. The watch is in charge of keeping an eye out for danger and relies on grace. And the factotum is in charge of equipment upkeep, and that relies on might. So the only role that has to be filled is the guide, and there can only be one guide. Everything else doesn't have to be filled. Since there are 4 of you and 6 roles, obviously there are going to be 2 that aren't filled. But you can choose whoever fills what.
We know we're only going to be here for, no more than 12 hours, so we could probably not worry about forager. And I assume we brought fucking trail rations or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just pat my
Some
bag.
kind of mix of trails.
Kevin sounds like a guide, probably.
Well, I was going to say the guide, but some of the other ones fit in better too.
But again, we're probably not going to set up camp, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
So
it's a bad day at that point, right?
So either guide or watch, I guess, would be if we're taking those, it's a quick expedition.
I'd go watch then, right? Because that would be my sort of thing, watching out for danger, right?
Okay, that sounds good. And it doesn't seem like Shelby's too keen on getting stuck in right off the bat. He seems to be a bit not getting his hands dirty, so maybe.
Yeah.
No, please. I don't wish to do it. I don't wish to do any of that.
I guess we have to keep him protected because he may come back to help us. So maybe we don't want him out in front. So
yeah,
nice. All right, so then we have. Do you say Woodbridge at watch then?
No, I think Woodbridge at guide.
Oh, Carter at watch.
Carter at watch.
Sounds
yeah.
Good.
Sorry, hang on.
So we have Carter at watch, Woodbridge as guide.
Mm-hmm.
So how about Rosa and Shelby?
Or the last
How
two?
about Shelby?
Second.
So there's it. Yeah, it's either the second, which is keeping up with morale,
Which stat
Charm.
that relies on charm.
Well, it looks like, I mean, I'm pretty overall, so
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would be the second. What was the last one?
Well, so
Yep.
but it would be funny though, right? Because like you're keeping up morale would be like, watch the scent. Oh, don't touch that. Oh, it's
Yeah.
I have a wipe. Do you need a wipe?
Let's do it. Let's do it. You know what that is?
Yeah.
I was thinking about
Nice.
that too. But what's the last? What's the last roll?
And then we have what was it? The
Factorum?
Ranger as well.
Ranger. Yeah.
That probably would be.
So there's the Ranger and the Facto. So the Ranger isn't just about setting up camp; it's also about like opening trails and doing that as well. So that relies on Psyche, and then there's the Factotum, which is in charge of equipment upkeep and all that kind of stuff. So
I'm going second. I'm doing the second.
Second. There you go. Shelby is the second. All right. How about Rosa?
Mic's off.
I mean, it's really it's kind of an even split.
Yeah. So we have basically Ranger, Forager, or Factotum. Forager, as we said, you guys kind of probably have supplies, and it's only 12 hours, so hopefully you don't need them. So I'd say Ranger or Factotum. You can also double up on watch or second as well. And so the only one that you can't double up on is the guide.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Ranger is the one that is like equipment upkeep. Is that
That's the Factotum.
Factotum? Okay. I'll go with that just because I feel like that fits a little bit more of my background style.
Sounds good. I like it. Let's see. All right. So now we move on. So we are doing. What is the Scoffin is a. What did I do? Oh, okay, there it is. All right. So we have now. Let's see. So now, let's see. Each creature. So we have the creature's monster level, which I will keep to myself.
100.
So the the members of the party must each make a difficult or a DL4 tracking check to see how many signs they can discover along the way. So basically, you need a number of signs equal to the monster's level.
Ooh, okay.
I'll tell you how. Because it's somewhat important. So it is a monster level 4.
Okay.
So you will need 4 signs in order to efficiently track this thing. Now, does anybody the scout? Now, if I recall, Kevin, Woodbridge is a tracker scout, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And
So
plus
because
1.
exactly, yeah. So he can actually decrease the number of signs required to track a monster by his the amount equal to his track score. So this would normally require 4 signs, but because you were a tracker, now it only requires 3 signs.
Okay.
So basically, as long as 3 of you, succeed, you should be on your way.
And we have
And
to
what are we
roll the
rolling
track
again?
skill specifically.
Nope. So tracking, you can test either your awareness, expertise, lore, or survival or basically any skill that you think might come in handy in that regard.
Nice.
Look who's got survival.
See, there we
I
go.
have awareness.
Oh, look at that.
So how many dice are we rolling for this one? What is the base
So
level?
it depends. So your it all depends on what skill you're rolling. So if you're
We
rolling
have-
survival,
Yeah.
roll
it's going to be either brains or health.
Okay.
And you're going to roll that many d6s and
Sounds
just tell
good.
me the highest number.
So I have awareness +3, and
Nice.
that would be against brains. So it's +3, and then with the 3 for my brains, right? So is that 6, or is it just the +3?
Nope. So did you so you roll if you have a brains 3, then you roll 3d6s.
Yep.
Yep. And so your highest one was a 3?
No, I'm saying I have awareness,
Oh.
and that's against
okay.
is a skill, and that's against brains. So I have 3. I have brains 3, and then my awareness is +3.
All right, so
Three
basically,
dice.
yeah. So you roll 3d6s,
Yeah.
and then so you roll 3d6s, and then you will add 3 to that to your highest roll.
Oh, I got you. So the +3 isn't it's the dice pool; it's just the number.
Correct. Yeah,
I
it's
gotcha.
an actual +3 to the number.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Unlike aliens.
Yeah, I was going to
Exactly,
say
yeah.
I was going to make it. Okay, so that would be a 9. I got a 2, 4, and a 6.
Oh wow,
Nice. I got a 6.
nice. There we go.
I got a 5. 5 alive.
Oh, look at that.
Question though, before I
Yes.
roll this, how did you figure out if you were rolling survival? Do you have to have survival, or can I roll survival? I'm just confused.
You can roll. So, in your instance too, you can actually roll either. Don't you have
I have a
lore too,
lore.
right? Yeah. So you can roll your lore again if you want as well.
So would I roll the 3d6?
So you'd roll. Yep. So you'd roll your 3d6 and then add for your brains. Or actually, no. Don't you have a 4 in your brains?
Yeah, that's why I was confused because my brains.
Yeah. So
is
you roll
4.
40. Yep. So your brains is 4. So you'll roll your 4 and then add your lore bonus.
Okay. Also 9.
Wow. Oof.
So Rose and Woodbridge are out front looking around, and their heads both turn the same way. Almost like pointer dogs. They both point at the same time.
Right.
Before we go out looking for signs, before we all go out, everybody take at least one of these, and I unfurl some sanitizing wipes. Just make sure you clean yourselves. We don't know what's out there. I just want to make sure everybody doesn't go back on the ship dirty.
But we
Woodbridge
haven't even
grabbed it.
started it yet.
But we are looking for things, and we are going to be digging around. So, Carter, just for, if not for you, for me, please.
So he unwraps it and he like fucking rubs it all over his face.
Oh.
Sit back to you.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh.
Woodbridge sticks it in his belt like a quarterback, like that has the towel when it's raining out, and he sticks it in the front, so it's just sitting there.
Rosa just has it between like 2 fingers and puts it in her pocket.
See, everybody take one, and I exhale very nicely, and then I wipe the pack itself.
Yeah,
and I
put it back in your
pocket. Put it back in my pocket.
He gets his little UV disinfector thing and sticks it in there and turns it on.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just reading.
It's okay.
Trying to figure out how difficult this should be.
Well,
So
so
we have
I'll
that.
fill your space.
Oh,
Then.
go ahead.
So
Yeah.
Tim, you were saying you were going to throw the character sheet in Photoshop or whatever. The nice thing about the character sheet as it comes across is so like where you say you have your psyche and the number of dice that you have in that was when you add your skills you add it to the line where that is or where you think you may want to use something like that. So rhetoric is probably going to be either brains or psyche. So you pick it, kind of just stick it on that same line. So when you go to roll your dice, you go, okay, cool. You can just go across. I'm rolling 4 dice, and I'm going to add plus, whatever my skill is. So if you're just doing it like on a scrap paper, you're like, fuck, what is that one next to again?
That's a good idea. So what is medicine? So so I don't have to keep asking.
Medicine is brains or psyche.
And then survival is also brains or
health. Yeah.
Brains or health. Okay.
Right. And it sort of depends on how you want to use the skill, right? So like for this, if you're rolling survival to sort of track, it's probably more of a brains thing because you're like looking for certain signs or whatever, where like survival and you use your health would be more like, fuck, it's really cold. Oh, I just got to like gut this out. You know what I mean? So you have a little bit of play in how you can interpret those skills.
And that was the question I asked too. It's not an either or, even though it says or, it's more narrative. So you don't have to, like for survival, you don't have to choose brains or health. Mm-hmm. It's both of them, and it's just narrative. So
no,
like John said.
Depending on when you use the skill, you've got to choose one.
Yeah. But when you're building the character, it's not, you don't pick either or. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it's both of them. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, even if you throw it on a line for like, I'm always going to use my survival for brains, but then it's like, I need like a con roll. Okay, shit. Well, I'm gonna, use this other dice pool instead.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I adjusted it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's interesting.
That's why I keep you around, John.
Well, same thing like with awareness, right? So like in this instance, again, it's more of a brains thing because you're looking for like cracked branches, you're looking for footprints, almost like a tracking situation, where my awareness for psyche may be like in a social situation, when you ask your wife, are you fine? She's, I'm fine. Right? That's a psyche roll. Is she fine? Fuck, I don't know. That didn't sound fine. Roll your dice and add your fucking skill,
Is this a health check or is this a psyche check? Yeah.
I'm gonna add my psyche to be a smartass.
And survival.
Which may be a health roll.
Nice.
It's a really elegant system. It's our Daytrippers is underlined through this. So like the core microsystem underlines Daytrippers, which is what we play with Todd, the creator. And it is super flexible. So he just stripped it all down to the absolute basics. I think the PDF for core micro is only like 15 pages or something like that. And, it gives you everything that you need, including wealth. Like, you sort of have the coin thing because everybody always just like, what we go to dinner at the end, like, who cares? Like, nobody's tracking copper coins. Mm-hmm. And the system sort of gives you that as a base. But then it's like your actual money condition is wealth. Like how much are you worth? Mm-hmm. So like one wealth is the equivalent, depending on the setting, for like Monster Hunt, 100 coins, maybe 100 gold coins. Where like in Daytrippers, 1 mega is equal to like $100,000 because it's so far in the future and like everything just keeps getting more expensive. So like it just, you can buy, a shitty house or like a really nice car, or, you can maintain your lifestyle for, X amount for the year or whatever. So it kind of takes those bigger things into focus.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. So we
like Todd.
Are we ready to get the hunt on?
Let's do it.
All right. So you begin to prepare, looking around. You kind of you're checking all your gear, making sure that everything's all set. Getting your weapons and everything charged up. Making sure that you have your nitro packs and your net launcher and your you have the battery charged in your shock stick, and and you can hear kind of the sound of the waves and everything around you, and almost with the crash of a wave also comes the sound of a boom of thunder, and within moments it's like a sheet, just torrential downpour rain of like cold, almost like needles coming down, just sweeps across and then begins to loom over the entire area.
I put my shield up over me as a makeshift umbrella. I didn't expect that.
No, as I tuck in my shirt into my gloves, and I tuck in my pants into my socks.
I should have saved that wipe, man.
I have more.
I just flip my hood up.
Oh, I take my shield also, and I'll put it above me. Oh.
Woodbridge shakes, and all the leather tassels hanging from his jacket, all the water just falling off.
I probably have a boonie cap too. I think he's got a boonie cap. One side's fucking clipped up. That's where he stuck the cigar, so he's got to keep it dry. So he's got a shield up.
Nice. There you go. All right. So yeah, you begin. So the whole area, you're basically on a peninsula, surrounded by water to the east, west, and south. So really, your only point of egress is the north, which also kind of makes sense with there being. You can see some kind of like hilly, rocky terrain off in the distance, along with some scrub brush leading into trees. So as you begin to go, the first thing that we need is for the guide to set the route and determine who gets supplies and everything. The basic launching of the party. So you're dealing with some somewhat inclement weather. And the route is slightly unknown, though you do have somewhat of a direction. So we're going to go ahead and set this difficulty at 5.
Okay, so I just roll my brains. Is that right?
Well, yep. So you're going to go ahead and roll your brains and any skills that you have associated with that you think would be useful, you can add as well.
So I have awareness or stealth. So I don't think stealth would really play into this one at the minute. Would awareness though? If I'm checking and trying to see the best route forward, obviously not focusing on the weather and the rain.
Mm-hmm. Would I be keeping an eye out for your surroundings and everything like that. That definitely makes sense.
Okay. That would be an 8. So 5 plus 3.
Nice. Yes. So that is a yes and.
That experience.
So you are able to kind of to choose an optimal route.
Yep.
You have all your equipment appears up to snuff.
Okay, so for the and, is that you doing the and, or is
nope,
that
that's
me?
Well, it's up to you. You can either give me an and, or I could if you need a hand with an and, then I could also give you a suggestion as well.
So looking around, I can see Shelby's a bit perturbed by the weather and trying to keep it all his stuff dry. And Carter's trying to keep his cigars dry too. Can I find a route through, but also get us, if I can see if it gets through, are all the gray clouds coming, over past us, or I don't want to walk into more weather. So can I find a route that takes us away from the bad weather?
Yeah, we'll say that you're, at the very least, your route does not take you, with the storm.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
we're not
walking.
So you're moving.
Deeper.
You're moving north. It's kind of moving in like an easterly direction. So you're able to kind of move up, and you're not necessarily out of the storm yet.
Yeah, but it's not getting
but
heavier or getting worse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That sounds good.
Perfect.
Carter sidles up to Rosa as they're walking, sort of like trudging through the rain. He says, "Crikey, you'd think they'd put us closer to where they want us to get the beastie, eh?"
You think, but must be a reason. Maybe we're supposed to sneak up on it or something.
I don't know. Do you think Shelby's gonna make it?
I don't know. I think there's too many germs here.
I walk past them. I'm doing fine, and I flip my collar up. Just get this over with.
Because Shelby's the second, right? So
Yeah.
Shelby's.
Yeah.
He just looks back to Rosa and sort of shrugs, and then continues trudging along.
It's all right. As long as we walk in a faster pace. Come on, hop, hop, hop. And I tap my leg as I just walk faster behind Woodbridge.
All right. So yeah, as you walk for a little while, the peninsula does kind of start to narrow a bit to the point where now you can actually see water on either side. It's still a ways off. You're looking at probably if my directions are too far off, I'm still very new to the metric system. Say like 30 meters to either side. What's that? Like 70-ish feet
Sure.
either way.
90.
Sure.
90 feet, yeah. Yeah, so you have about 100, 160, 180 or so feet wide in this whole area. And you suddenly you hear kind of a burst sound. Almost like like water being shot out of a cannon. And on all around the whole area, you notice that there's these small outcroppings of rock. And the storm, between the storm and the tide kind of coming in, it's created some additional pressures of the water. And it appears that there's perhaps underground caves or something that the water is rushing into. And with all the additional tidal force, it's now erupting out from small craggy holes all within the ground. And it's coming out, you can see, with extreme pressure.
Are we close to those erupting water?
Yeah, actually, as you're walking, one bursts like maybe 10 to 15 feet in front of Shelby.
Do they seem like they're more on one side than the other, or is it kind of just spaced out or all?
Yeah, it's kind of scattered out a little bit. And it makes them what makes them a little difficult to see too is, as you'll notice, as they erupt and the water settles, it's basically almost like a water cannon just being burst out. When it finishes, the sand kind of erodes and collapses back down to fill these shallow caverns.
As the water shoots up, as I stop for a second, and the water comes down onto me. Mm-hmm. God damn it, Woodbridge, where are we?
And if possible, this water is actually colder than the ice cold rain that is falling on you right now.
And full of sand.
It's full of sand,
Yep.
and it's ice cold.
Yeah.
Woodbridge, it's so cold. I thought you were taking us out of the storm.
So Woodbridge will walk, and it seems like every time he steps over, one of these water, so you'll see a bunch of water come up and splash down, and then he'll step on that one, and then the next one will go, and it almost looks like wherever he's walking is where it's erupting up, and he's trying to look back and saying, I'm trying to find a path through, but everywhere he steps, it seems like he steps up, and that's where the water comes from and splashes on everybody.
Oh, we're getting anywhere closer.
Yeah. So everybody's going to start staying back from Woodbridge because he keeps sending up all the water.
Is this like a trap?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so I
We
did
gotta find
track.
some higher ground.
Yeah. Can Woodbridge do anything? No,
So this isn't just So this isn't just up to Woodbridge particularly.
Mhm.
I mean, if you want to put it all on your shoulders, you can. But this is something that all of you are going to have to make it through.
Okay.
Yeah,
one way or another.
So I'm not doing Watcher, so I can't do a terrain roll. I'm just doing the track. So,
Is that a thing? Is there something I can do there?
Can I roll a survival to kind of
get
figure
all the
out?
sand off of you.
Yeah, can I roll a survival to kind of figure out what's going on in this, what's happening to Woodbridge, what's maybe be the best path to walk through this erupting water.
Sure, yeah. Let's go ahead.
Can I give him a bonus? Right, so
you're all gonna kind of have to figure out a way in order to make it through. Yep. So you're all gonna kind of stack. You'll, as a 4E advocate, think of this as like a skills challenge.
Okay. The only reason I ask is because Kevin brought it up. I'm not the Watcher, but I am. Mm-hmm. It says in charge of keeping an eye out for danger. So I don't know if this qualifies. I don't know if there was like a separate role to make to be like, oh, we can.
Hey, you know what? Go ahead and how about this? You go ahead and give me a roll for Watcher.
Okay. And
if you can beat a DL4, then everybody will be able to roll an additional die on their checks.
Sweet. So for that roll, it relies on grace. Is it a straight grace roll, or can I add my stealth? Sort of like pick away, because we haven't done it before, so I don't know what the. If it's straight grace, it's straight grace.
What stealth would do.
So what I'm thinking is, as they're moving forward, he's kind of like picking his way, and my thought was that he would use the shield to sort of like block that, I guess. Mm-hmm. So like as stuff started to erupt, he would have the shield down so it wouldn't like blast up. So if people followed sort of close behind, so with the two shields between Shelby and I, we'd be able to like maybe mitigate some of that.
Sure, why not?
All right. Yeah. Oh, 2 5. So that's going to be a 6 total.
Oh. Yeah, that just makes it though.
Ooh.
All right. So he says to Shelby, hey, follow me close. Put your shield down. Put your shield down close. We'll block the water off. Come on.
Very well. Now, Shelby will equip his shield and follow along with Carter.
Nice. All right. So from now on, for the remaining rolls, everybody gets to add an additional D6 to their pool.
Okay. So Carter rolled on Grace. Mm-hmm. So do we then have, like, if we're going 4E, do we have to choose a different skill or a different stat to roll it against?
No, just roll whatever you want.
Okay, I was gonna say, because it used to be that you could only one person could roll against. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, am I rolling again still? Like, is that a separate thing, and then I'm still gonna roll to make it through, or?
Yeah, that was so that's kind of your
that's your watch from your Watcher
your assistance
roll,
into it. Yeah.
Yep.
Like using your Watcher roll.
Gotcha. I dig it. What were you gonna say, Kevin?
No, I was just going to say, so you were a Watcher, so I think that was the role for that, was as the Watcher and then separate. So Woodbridge will look over and see Carter and Shelby kind of blocking it with their shields, and then he'll kind of take a moment, to look down at his feet because he's standing on one of the areas where the spouts came up, and he'll try to focus to see. I'm trying to think what game was that, Cubert, when you're hopping around, right? So he's going to try to see which one to hop to next. So if I use Grace, I've got a 4 in Grace, and then Carter gave us the boost for that. So I'm going to do that, and that is so I rolled all 2s and 3s. So Woodbridge leans one way with his right foot, and assuming a bunch of water comes up, and then he leans with his left foot.
Well, do you have a skill?
Awareness or stealth.
So was that total, or is that awareness?
awareness, so that would be a 6 then.
Oh, there we go.
So
All right.
he leans down for a minute because he's distracted, not realizing he's not using his awareness, and he goes to step his foot down and sees some water kind of bubbling up, and then he jumps the other way and just misses him. Then he added his 3 awareness to that. The awareness.
Well, I will say though, because I'm rolling for the water.
Yeah.
And so we'll say you so you actually got a yes, but so we'll say you go to kind of step around and you dodge it with the first one because you see like a pit beginning to open, and you're like, oh, I got this, and then you kind of step around that, but you end up so that erupts right behind you. So you end up kind of dodging that, but as you do, the sand ends up kind of you end up stepping into like a secondary hole that's just full of like wet loose sand, and
stuck in.
Yeah.
Up to my ankles, and I'm kind of. And I'll look back and say, "This may be quicksand. If you struggle, then it makes you go down quicker." So he'll start moving very slowly, trying to get out of it.
Stop fucking around.
I've seen those old movies where the more you struggle, the quicker you go down. So he's moving very slowly.
Can I use my survival to see how fast the geyser underneath his feet erupt after he puts his foot down?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so 5d6 with the brains. Ooh, I got an 8.
Wow. So you're kind of looking around, and you so what exactly you're trying to like find some correlation?
Yeah. So pretty much what's the timing to it where he lets his foot off and it geysers behind him. All right. Can we ninja run out of here, but just spaced apart, not behind each other?
Yeah. So absolutely. He seemed to move fast enough that he was able to get it. So you think as long as you pick the right path, that you would be able to kind of sprint your way through.
All right. Well, I'll so guys. I think if I started talking like Megamon, so I think judging by how fast the water was shooting up behind Woodridge, I believe we can, if we made the mad dash across.
As soon as he says mad dash, Rose is going to start running.
No,
I run too.
Everybody's running.
Let's do this. No, it was. And I will start running, but I'll as we're running, if anybody's behind the other person, I say, no, spread apart.
Everybody's running really quick, and Woodbridge is like going in slow motion, just like lifting his legs up very slowly,
shaking his foot.
Right.
Are we doing one check per scenario? I was thinking about maybe keeping an eye out for maybe what might look like looser sand, like what Woodridge warned us about with quicksand.
Sure, yeah.
Or does anybody else want to do that check?
Well, I got a 7 with athletics to just fucking haul ass.
Nice. There we go.
Anybody else want to do that check?
Yeah, Rosa, how you running through?
I'm trying to figure what would athletics be again?
Either grace or might.
Okay. Yep. So I will use grace, and that's gonna be.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm just gonna haul ass, like.
You're doing checks. Okay,
just running.
Yeah, I'm just.
You said run, we ran.
All right,
Yeah.
All right, that's it. I'm going to make sure you guys are okay. I will be hauling ass with you.
Yep, and I got an 8.
Nice.
Oh wow! Yeah, so both. Yeah, so I'm assuming this Carter uses his. Is that more of like an endurance, like a athletics, like just barreling his way through?
I think so. Yeah, it's more of a might based thing. He's like, go, go, and he's like, all right, fuck it, and just hauls
Right.
ass. He's just trying to
Just putting all this momentum
distance
forward. Yep,
Yeah.
shield blocking whatever he can.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like that. Whereas like Rose is more like nimble, like running through, choosing her path.
I am just
All right.
trying to keep up with them. Woodbridge, let's go!
All right.
Trying to think what I can roll for this one now. Would this be a might roll to try to get out of the sand, or
Sure, yeah.
okay?
Yeah, if you want to try to force your way out, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, are
so
you stuck? I didn't realize.
Yeah, he's
you were
stuck.
stuck.
We totally
He
left
sees
him
everyone-
behind.
He sees everyone else hauling ass, so he's going to start focusing more, try to move a bit quicker. So that is a 4 is my highest.
Yeah, so
I'm sinking.
yeah,
I'm sinking. I told you.
yeah.
Shit.
You said you were talking about quicksand. I didn't know you were actually sinking.
Yep. So you Woodbridge, you end up you're trying to like pull yourself free, and you hear a crash of a wave. You begin to hear the rushing sound of water, and there's a very brief rumble below you when a jet of water just thrusts you into the air, and you go like anime style cartwheel up into the air and over, slamming into the ground, probably a good dozen or so feet away.
Does he shoot up into the air again by another jet?
Yeah, right.
I land on another one, another spout.
Yeah, right,
shoots
and
me up in the air.
another.
Just keep bouncing you.
So you
That's how
are.
I catch up with you guys. Each water spout that shoots me closer to
Right.
you guys.
Why didn't I think of that?
You are going to take 1 might damage.
Okay.
Now, is
Got
that because we don't do a lot of damage in Daytrippers? Is that something that can be healed with a medicine check, or is he down 1 essentially for the duration? Is it like, hey, I can sprint this or like wrap it or whatever?
So you do have a medic on your team, but without long-term care, all that anything that he can do is very temporary.
Okay.
And even like most of the stuff that the medic can do is to like talk him or help him through the pain in that specific moment of time. So as far as that damage goes right now, that will be ongoing pretty much until you get back home.
Okay.
So what damage does for core is, so you normally would be rolling 3d6 for your might rolls.
Yep.
You have taken 1 damage, so now you're going to be rolling 2.
Okay, so that takes it away from the dice pool, not like the total number.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yep. So it doesn't give a negative to the roll or anything like that. It just subtracts from the dice pool itself.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. And now, so since we talk about it real quick, just to give you a heads up, so you can, when a skill drops to 0, when a stat drops to 0, basically it is useless, but you're not dead. All right. You're just kind of incapacitated to a certain extent. However, if you end up, getting a 0 in 3 stats?
It's 2 or 3. I don't.
Is it? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 3.
It could be.
Yeah.
It rarely comes. I mean, not that we don't ever take
it
damage,
almost,
but
yeah.
it rarely
If
comes
you have
up.
a 3, yeah. So if you end up getting a 0 in 3 stats, you're dead. Like you've taken enough damage that it's irreversible, basically. So yeah, you can actually have 2 stats go down to 0 and you're still reasonably functional.
Sounds
It's
good.
gonna hurt. And you're not gonna, but
you can.
yep.
So are we? Maybe you're thinking about it on the back end. Are we doing this in frames? So like, was the first frame we start to see the thing, and then next frame we're like, how are you going to get through? Like, all right, I'm going to give them a bonus, and then the next frame, okay, now we're going to do the thing. He gets stuck. We run. So are we like in another frame now where we get like a single action? Or are we doing more narrative? Like it's all sort of the same.
It's loosey goosey. Yeah. So
okay.
So whereas with D&D and most other things, like a round is a specific set of seconds. Mm-hmm. Frames are much looser. It's more, a frame is more so just like
the scenario.
A scene in which everybody acts.
Yeah. That's not necessarily true. It's kind of like a comic book frame. Yeah. I mean, you can run it different for sure, but
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But so I mean, the thing is that a frame isn't a specific period of time. Yeah, it can be 2 seconds or it can be 2 hours. It's really all up to the narration in that specific scene and what's going on.
So Woodbridge is gonna, after he bounces around a bit, he sees everyone else running fast ahead of him. So he'll get up and kind of shake off, kind of like a dog, to get all the sand and water off of him. And it kind of not limps, but he's not moving as fast as he was before, but he's trying to catch up to everybody.
Well, when you scream then and land, I'll come jogging over. Hey, you all right there? That looked like it hurt.
I don't think it affected anything that'll hurt us on for our mission, but I guess I have to be a bit more careful. It doesn't really reflect well on me that I ended up getting caught and you guys all made it through, but I promise I'll make it up to you all. I'll keep my eyes extra peeled moving forward now. And he's kind of
shit happens. No worries here.
He's kind of bummed out. The scout was the one that got caught, and everyone else made it out all right.
Take a nip of this, and he reaches into like inside, like I guess he's probably got a pocket, right? He's got the flak jacket on, and he pulls out the flask and he hands over the flask to you.
Do not overindulge, Woodbridge. But if you want to drink some of that while I apply this, whip out like a little cast. Something just to wrap up his arm or leg that got busted.
Nice.
I'll take a swig, and then Woodbridge will take the wet wipes that Shelby gave him and wipe his face off and kind of chuck it over his shoulder back into the spout that, trying to get almost like he's shooting into a wrinkled up paper into the trash can. He'll throw it over his back to get it and hand back the flask to Carter.
He takes a pretty big draught, and then he just holds it out. See if either Shelby or Rosa wants a swig.
Oh, if you don't mind. I take some and I wipe my gloves a little bit. These are good.
he wipes the top of it off before he...
Yeah. God damn it, that's good whiskey. Well, you don't waste it.
That's the wipes are for.
I apologize. Alcohol is also really good for sanitizing.
You'd be best drinking some of this. It'd loosen you up a little bit.
I'm loose enough already. I'm as loose as I'd like to be, Carter. Let's push forward. Does anybody need another wipe?
No.
Maybe some sanitizing gel? I have some of that too.
Woodbridge will reach out and ask for some more wipes because he used up the ones, and then if Shelby gives him some, he'll tuck it back into the front of his belt again and start walking forward.
Yes. One for now, one for later. How about that?
Exactly. 2-ply. He's got 2 sheets.
So, I'll wipe the top of it, and I will close it and put it back in.
All right. So yeah, we begin to continue on. You start to walk, leaving your little peninsula behind, and the sands, your pink sands, slowly turn into more of a thick, it almost looks like large Himalayan rock salt, just like large crystalline features as you go through, which then transforms into large actual like pink rocks that are just forming almost like a shaled surface around this whole area.
So Carter like kneels down as it starts to like solidify into more like chunk, like you're saying, like Himalayan salt. Carter like probably like has used that before, so he just kind of like kneels down. He sort of looks over his shoulder real quick. He's got the fucking the what the hell is it called, the kukri in his hand, and he just like chips off a piece and he holds it up and he looks at it and he licks it to see if it's fucking salt or not.
No. Oh, Carter.
That's why.
Well,
yeah, actually it is. It looks like this is like, so when the in probably in like the summer months, you get high tides. So you get high tides that wash over, and then as the low tide comes, this area dries out very quickly and leaves a large salt sediment behind.
Oh, that's good. That's the natural state. You got a bag? I might have a bag here. Hold on. So he like starts fucking going through all his fucking millions of pockets and shit. Pulls out like a Ziploc bag and like chips some more off and grabs a bunch to throw it in there. You could cook with that. I got a nice grinder at home. Oh yeah, you get some shit out on the barbie. Yeah.
As he's licking it and eating it, I'll look around to see if any animals are also doing the same. If there's any indigenous animals in the area that might be doing the same thing.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and give me an awareness check.
Don't have that. So
you can just give me a straight up brains.
Straight up brains. Got it.
Either the brains or psyche.
We can make some salt lamps from this. So Woodbridge will say to Carter, we can make some salt lamps. We'll make a ton of money from this. Side business.
I got a 6.
Ooh, all right. So yeah, you end up looking around, and it does appear as though there are several
birds shitting all over it.
yeah, exactly. There's a handful of species of birds that are in the area that are both licking the salt, and also hunting some crustaceans that appear to live within the area. And we'll say that was good enough, so I'll give you an and, so you can.
Are they they fit the description that Rosa told us of what this creature hunted?
Yeah. It'd have one of the bird species that's around. You can see that it has no wings. Or if it does at all, they're like incredibly tiny and useless. And it seems to be running around with like this long like hook-like beak, and it's like jabbing it through the salt.
The
and it does appear to fit.
Giant penguins from Mountains of Madness.
Albino penguins.
Do they appear to care that we're in the area?
No, they seem to just be kind of going about their business.
How big are they?
No, we'll say it's like the size of like a small dog.
Okay.
Like a turkey?
Yeah, it's like a turkey. Perfect.
You want to use an actual bird?
Yeah,
Like a kiwi
there
bird.
you go. It's like a wingless turkey.
It's all tiger based. It's about half a tiger.
It's 5/8 of a tiger. Yeah, the whole system of measurement is tiger based. Yep. So all of you need to travel about 87 tigers to get to Yep. The peninsula is 13 tigers wide by 97 tigers long.
Units of measurement is based off a tiger. Rosa, are those the birds you were describing earlier? They look very similar.
I take a look at it. Like, yeah, that's definitely a weird wingless bird.
Do any of you think we should take one of them as bait for our prey?
I cock my net launcher.
Well, it might make a hell of a racket, which could be good. You draw that kitty cat out.
So Woodbridge is going to look around while everyone's talking about that, just to see if he can notice if this is an area, if this is like the watering hole where all the animals come, and then the predators come up behind it. So he's just going to look around to see if he can notice anything, to see if he can see if he can see any kind of, if there is a scoffing around, or just see, he's just keeping an eye out, because if this is where all the prey comes to water, then obviously the predator is going to be behind it. So he's going to try to see if he can see anything, back around while everybody's talking and Rose is getting her net gun ready.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. Go ahead and give me. I guess awareness would make sense.
Okay. And that would be
Either brains or psyche.
That would be 5, 5, and 5, and then plus 3 is 8.
Wow.
You're crushing it tonight.
except when I got stuck in the water spout.
Down came the Woodbridge.
Yeah, exactly. Washed them out.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're looking around for like signs that anything else could be around here, and you do see there's those large kind of crags, the large pieces of rock and salt and everything, and it looks the pink hue of the rocks. It doesn't appear to be like large tiger-sized stones, like pieces of salt, but rather it's like a piece of rock that is covered in this salt, in like salt crystal. And so you're looking around and you see, these large rock outcroppings and everything, and you feel as though it would be perfect hiding areas for a scoffin. And I'll give you your and. It appears to be that this circumstance of the downpour of the rain and everything is bringing out a lot of shellfish and crustaceans that these birds happen to like to feed on. And then in turn, scoffins like to feed on these birds. So you've kind of almost stumbled into a very beneficial, almost like the perfect circumstances for finding a scoffin.
A kill box. We stumbled into the kill box.
Yeah.
Is it also cold over here? I'm sorry if I missed that.
It's very cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Woodbridge will, he'll look over to where everybody, where Rose is, cocking her net gun and everybody's looking at these weird birds and everything. So he'll get down on one knee and kind of he'll take his Springfield, his Earth Springfield off his shoulder, and just kind of, whatever the rocks that were kind of like that, where he thinks something could be hiding behind it, and just almost just scanning back and forth and just shout over his shoulder. I think we're in a good spot for catching one of these animals. So everybody, keep your eyes peeled. I'll make up for before and keep my eyes extra peeled, and he'll just have his gun out and looking down the site, just scanning the different rocks that the outcroppings that would be big enough to hide a Scoffin behind it.
Oh shit, we just lost Jesse.
We lost Jesse. Uh-oh.
Our GM.
Ah. Well,
Guaranteed is.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
So
You're
Woodbridge will
muted now.
be.
Can't hear you.
Muted.
There we go. For some
There you
reason,
go.
my router cycles right around this time,
Oh,
and so
You good?
yep,
So
we're good.
Woodbridge will be, staring down the site of his Springfield and just, scanning across the different outcroppings that would be big enough to hide a Scoffin. And he shouted over his shoulder, just to everybody keep your eyes peeled, and I'll keep my eyes peeled a bit more.
Let's I was thinking, if there's so many of these birds around here, why don't we try to lay quiet instead of trying to capture one? I don't want to startle them and then lose our pile of treats for it, if that makes any sense. Why don't we take out any stragglers?
Any bird stragglers?
Yes.
So
I suppose we got plenty of time to wait.
When is Rosa? Did describe when the sleeping patterns of this monster?
So do I need to do a lore check?
Sure, yeah.
8?
Ooh, all right. Let's see. It is primarily nocturnal.
Well, it's mostly nocturnal, so we got some time before we're gonna see it, probably.
Does
What
anyone
time
know
is
how? Yeah. Does anyone know the time frame for the how long the days are on Nern?
Carter just looks over and shrugs. Didn't listen, mate.
Why
I'll
am I
do
not surprised?
two things. One of you can go ahead and give me a survival roll, and then I'll also need a D6 from each one of you.
Yeah, I'll try to base it off of how long we've been here and where the sun is on the sky, or if
Sounds
there's
good.
any nighttime here.
Mm-hmm.
My D6 was a 5.
Sounds good.
Woodbridge, you got a 2.
2.
I got a survival of 9.
Nice. And can you give me another D6?
We survived.
Another D6.
Did
Yep.
we? I got a 6.
6? Ooh.
I got a 2.
2. All right. So we have. All right. All right. So yeah, knowing that this this planet is about half the size of Earth, and the way that the sun has been traveling over, you can tell that the days are probably equally as short. So you're looking at probably about a 12 to 13 hour day. And right now it appears to be just past noon. So you probably have a couple hours, if that, for the twilight. which is when the Scoffin likes to do its hunting.
Can I keep my eye out for any straggling birds that I can?
I'm not gonna
You
lie.
want to try to sneak up on one?
No, I don't want to spook. I don't want to spook the group of them. If they came, I kind of want to just keep my distance, keep an eye out in this salt pit.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it's just what I'm doing. I'm just kind of keeping an eye out. And I know my taser batons are too close range, and I don't want to make my presence known to the little birds and scatter them.
Can I make a stealth? So like I'd like to like get like next to like a nook and kind of put the shield over myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pull over some, you know, if there's like some fucking branch or whatever, and like throw it on top, and then he's just gonna like eat. Like he's gonna bust out like a, you know, like a full MRE, but like, you know, a foiled, like, you know, like a the space Cliff Bar kind of thing to
corpse rations.
Yeah. Just kind of have himself ready, and then
right on. As
he's eating, you see him like he takes out like one grenade, lays it down next to him, takes out another grenade, lays it down next to him. You want me to make a roll?
Yes, please.
All right. That is going to be... it's going to be a 7.
Nice. All right. So we're going to hold on to that 7 for now.
All right. He's just munching away.
Yeah.
So from Woodbridge standpoint, he's the guide. You know, Shelby said we might as well stay here. We've got a couple hours left until, you know, I guess it's dusk, right? So is there a way that he was sighting his rifle down to each of the different outcroppings? Obviously, that's not gonna. He just want to keep doing that for the next couple hours. So is there a way he can set up that, you know, for the 4 of us just to spread out a bit, just to keep an eye on all the different, I guess, ingress, egress. So all the ingress points where we're at, just to make sure that we've got eyes on each of the areas that we think that something would be able to get through to us easily over, you know, a clear path. I want to make sure that there's not like a straight shot into us where a Scoffin could, you know, kind of run in and get us.
That makes sense. Why don't you go ahead and give me a psyche check?
Okay.
Just to see if you can kind of intuitively figure out kind of the best setup for this.
So the highest I got was a 4. So Woodbridge will be kind of looking around, you know, trying to see the weak points of where we're at. Okay, move over that way, move over this way. You know, let's get our backs to that. Let's keep eyes on that area, that kind of thing. So highest was a 4. Yeah.
All right. So that is a yes, but so what I'm going to do is you are able to kind of set everything up to the best of your abilities, and you fully believe that that everybody kind of is in at least a near optimal place, and you kind of know generally like the few areas that the Scoffin will probably come from. And I'll be... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you have a butt? Go ahead.
I do, and I'll be holding that for later.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay.
All right. Shelby and Rosa, what do you two be doing?
I am not going to perch myself anywhere, but I'm going to sit myself next to Woodbridge and keep an eye out for that wound from earlier.
Out of character after that last roll, maybe you don't want to be sitting next to me, but we'll leave that. Leave that butt alone.
Not metagaming, just Woodbridge. I know that cask I gave you earlier was not for. It wasn't a proper fix for that wound, but I say that if we get eyes on this monster, if we have time to adjust, let me properly fix that up before we get into capturing it.
Let's say that was on his elbow, right? So let's do that because we didn't know where. So maybe when he got tossed up in the air, when he landed, maybe he landed on his arm, his elbow. So Woodbridge will look over to Shelby and kind of flex where the bandaging was on his elbow and say, yes. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. When we get out of this, I'll let you do some bone breaking a bit better to fix it. But right now, it doesn't feel too bad. And he'll kind of flex it and grimace a bit.
I hear the clicking, though, Woodbridge. I hear the clicking. Just before, if we do get eyes on the monster and it's there, we have time. I'll be right here and I'll help you out before we try to capture it.
So that's not my trigger arm. That's my resting arm. So maybe if we just put a bit of padding on the elbow
for now,
resting down and aiming, that should be good.
For now, yes. But like I said, before we get into fighting, before we get to the capturing, just for now, I'll stay by you. And then if it ends up coming in before we go in to capture it, let me do some proper fixing for you before we get there, before we engage. Deal?
Sounds good. And then he'll go and try to like sight the rifle, and once he put his elbow down, he grimaces a bit when he puts it down and aims, but then he'll Are you on your stomach? No, I would say there's an outcropping in front, so we'll set the gun up on top of that and do it that way, so he's not completely parallel to the ground.
All right. I will take a little sheet that I have and put it on the outcropping also and lean against it.
And how about Rosa?
So I'm gonna find a not totally secluded, but a little bit more set back so I can kind of watch everybody space, and just very methodically go through and clean all of my weapons and net launchers and make sure everything is in good shape and ready to use.
All right. Let's go ahead and you want to give me can you give me a might roll? You being the factotum, that makes sense. So go ahead and give me a might roll and roll that with an additional D6.
Okay. Oops.
Just got to make it over a 4. Actually, over a 3.
Okay. 8.
What? Wow. All right. So yeah, you're kind of looking through and you have all of your equipment and everything set up nice and orderly. Everything seems to be in good working order. And not only that, we'll say that I'll give you your and you're able to kind of get everything into you have enough time to get everything a little boosted. So your first action when you use a piece of equipment will be done at an additional +1.
Sweet.
So whatever it may be, whether or not you're using your weapon or your net launcher or anything like that, that action will be done at a +1 for that first time. Cool. All right. So you the 4 of you basically sit around in this salt box and wait for the opportune time. About an hour or so goes by and the sun quickly begins to set over, and you're kind of perched up a little bit so you can see the sun off in the distance setting over the ocean, glimmering in this brilliant kind of orange and purple. And another half hour or so goes when the sun is almost completely behind the horizon and the entire sky is cast in this deep, almost amethyst purple.
Are we dry at this point? Are we dry at this point?
You are not dry, but it has at least stopped downpouring. There's like a slight drizzle in the air, but it's you're at least not covered in torrential rain right now.
I'll try my best to use the water to wash off all the sand off of me. Disgusting.
And let's see. So we have that 7. Woodbridge and Rosa. Woodbridge and Shelby. Go ahead and give me brains rolls. And you can add either brains or psyche, and you can add your awareness to that.
Okay, that is a 7.
Okay. Oh, wow. For a second, I thought that Tim was frozen. He was just standing really still.
Concentrating.
Which skill again? I'm sorry.
So it's going to be awareness.
Awareness. So I don't have that. So just straight brains.
So either brains or psyche.
5.
All right. So the 4 of you are kind of sitting around. We have Carter underneath an outcrop, blinding himself as best as possible. Rosa as well. You kind of are off to the side, and Woodbridge also kind of gave you all general areas of safety that would be fine. He kind of failed to look out for himself, though. And Carter, I'll give you kind of the heads up on this. You're kind of just sitting there, your shield over to block, and we'll say probably you also described it as like a camo designed shield. We'll say it has like an active camo, so like Predator-esque. It actually like projects an image on it that allows you to blend in better with your surroundings.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you're kind of just sitting there, and you see motion just above the rocks, above Woodbridge and Shelby, of this kind of dark gray creature with short hair that almost glimmers in the moonlight. And you can see the reflection of 2 large blue eyes.
Do I get to act because I kind of want to do something stupid?
You will be able to get 1 action in before the breakdown.
Because I don't know if that would be considered 1. So
What's up?
So this is my thought. So I'm kind of like sitting there, and I see it sort of like up over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not holding on to the shield because it's just like a roof for me at this moment.
Yep.
So I just kind of want to like slide my arm up into the shield. I guess, I want to, it's too many things. I want to grab the grenade, pop it, say, clever girl, and throw the grenade up, like cook it off and throw it up so it pops in front of it.
Nice. Okay, go ahead. Let's see. This will probably be Grace because you're looking at more accuracy than anything else. You're attempting to get the scoff in and not your friends.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I'm trying to get sand off me.
Let's see here. We'll say, this is kind of difficult. So we'll go ahead and say that this is going to be a 5.
That's fair. Yeah. Oh, I got 2 6s and a 5.
Let's go.
So he's sitting there like this. He reaches down, he grabs it, clicks it, waits like 3 seconds, and just sort of like, pulls the shield over and just like underhands it up like a thing, and it poof, like right in front of it.
Is that
nice?
Is that Carter throwing a great? Ah!
Brilliant.
What?
All right.
What would be the action for mending? Mend? Is that like something I had to prepare? Because I know it only lasts a couple of minutes.
No. So let's see here. Let me switch over here.
I didn't know if it was like a spell or something, or in terms of 5e.
So no. So it lasts for you have. Actually, because we'll boost it up a little bit. So we'll say that you can have 2 points in mend. So we'll give Shelby 2 points in mend, and then Rosa 2 points in zoology.
But in terms of speed,
it's kind of especially with like the technology that you have. Like I'm assuming like when you like casted Woodbridge's arm temporarily, it was like a almost like a spray that you just got, and it forms like a rubber coating over his arm to help protect it. So so like the same thing with the mend. It's like something like super quick that just kind of temporarily fixes or at least sustains something. Or even it doesn't.
As long as we narratively explain how the mend is.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and even it doesn't even necessarily say that it fixes damage. It provides a bonus. So even it can be like a shot that allows them to like numb pain, so they get a bonus to their health, or like a boost of adrenaline that helps with their grace. Like it can be anything like that. So
how many times can we use that?
It's an action, so you can use it as many times as you want.
Oh,
until they're addicted to whatever you're pumping them full of.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, and you have 2 points in it, so you can give a 1 point bonus for 2 frames.
Okay.
So basically, if it is something that you want to sustain, then you could like give it to him once and then do something else and give it to him again. It's like swap back and forth if you'd like.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Sounds good. Just curious.
All right. Yep. So the Scoffin begins to stalk its prey. It's coming up above Woodbridge and Shelby. It appears as though it's looking for a slightly larger snack right now. When all of a sudden there's a giant flash of light and a cacophonous bang. And you actually
what is he doing? And I look up. Do me and Woodbridge see the creature?
Yes. So you can see the thing that is the large, twice the size of a tiger, looming over you, that is now kind of scuffled back with the large blast.
So it was a stun grenade. Does it have any in-game effect to it?
It basically
does it, like, lose a frame or?
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't deal harm, but it loses its action for a frame.
Okay. I was hoping it would like fall down and we could just wrap it up.
All right. So yeah, what do you all want to do? Right now we have Shelby and Woodbridge basically right underneath the thing. Carter about 15 meters off, who had just thrown the stun grenade. And then we also have Rosa, who is probably about another 15, 20 meters off as well. Kind of observing our flightless turkeys.
I take out my shield and I whip my baton and
while Shelby whips out his stun stick, Woodbridge will
Hey.
kind of okay, 18 plus on this one. Woodbridge will kind of like the elbow that was that Shelby was working on. He'll kind of whip it out and like bump into him and kind of wince and move his Springfield to see if he can pull it up, because he was kind of scanning around and try to pull the Springfield up and aim at the Scoffin if he can.
All right.
I am going to stand. So I'm going to grab the other grenade, clip it, and then get my shield up and prepare, if the thing's going to jump down because it's obviously much higher than we are.
Right, yeah. All right, what about Rosa?
I am going to ready the net launcher
Nice.
in case it starts
SpongeBob net launcher.
SpongeBob net launcher.
Trademarked.
TM.
Pew. In case it makes a move.
you have to like pump the back end of it.
Guys, keep it busy. Keep it busy.
Yeah.
Give it another bird.
All right. So yeah, let's go with Shelby and Woodbridge first.
I will try to tease this thing.
Yeah. So let's go ahead with a grace roll.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any skill points in combat, so it's just going to be straight up grace.
For both of us?
Yeah, actually, because you'll also be rolling with with your gun.
Okay.
So, I will say, I'll leave it up to you. So you are pretty close to this thing. It's like on the rocks right above you. So you could use the, you probably had the gun out anyway. But it will be at a negative because you're basically shooting at like point blank range almost. So let's say it's just like a -1.
-1 on the dice or the highest number?
On the highest number. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I got a 4.
All right.
I got a 5.
Ooh, all right.
It's a good thing because all the rest of them were 1, so I rolled a 6. 1, so.
Let's see here. I get to flip back over to here. All right. So the Shelby, you kind of go to shock the Scoffin, and it you kind of slip on a little bit of a rock, and especially like the whole place is covered in these salt crystals and everything, and it's just been raining, so you kind of go to reach for it and you can't quite get up to it, but you are able to get kind of at least the sound of the shock kind of at least moves this thing into a little bit more of an opportune position for Woodbridge.
Oh, I've got a bottle of acid with your name on it.
And we'll say that, yeah. So as it kind of moves off to the side, Woodbridge, you're able to get a shot off that goes right through its front leg. And so you let off kind of like a poof, and it just manages to pierce right through the leg.
Do we just want to point out, like, mechanically that Tim's thing was a no butt?
True. Yes. Yeah. So Tim's roll, you missed by 1. So I rolled defense for the thing, and I got a 5. So yours was missed by 1. So you were a no butt. So your attack missed, but it still did something positive.
Okay. Cool.
If you had missed by more than that, it would have been a no, and which means that not only do you miss, but something negative happens to you.
Yep.
So.
And then Kevin's was just a yes.
And then Kevin's was a straight up yes. The
shot goes through, and you see him, because obviously it's a bolt action, so he does the shot and he's going to crank the bolt on it. It's not a semi-auto or anything.
I imagine too that the bolt action is actually just cosmetic. It doesn't like there are no actual bolts.
Yeah, it's just all loaded up.
No bullets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Awesome.
What are you reloading?
It's habit. I can't help it. It's muscle memory.
Yeah, he's actually put in, like, the mechanic of it is that it will not fire again until he does the bolt action. Carter or Rosa?
You've got I don't want to get wrapped up with it, so if you want to take your shot.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to see if I can snag it in the SpongeBob net gun.
Sounds good. All right, go ahead and give me a grace roll.
Okay. 7.
Oh, that is a yes. And so it's already kind of limping from the one shot to the leg, and then it's distracted, it's injured. You manage to get prime shot on it, and
Shelby. No, I'm just kidding.
You're just stuck in there like, help.
What's your and?
Oh, I didn't realize I get to pick the and.
You do. You get to pick the and. So your attack is successful. You net it, and it can be anything you want to. It doesn't have to be directly related. Most of the time in combat, it is. It sets you up for another position. But yeah, it can be something that either sets you up for your next action, sets somebody else up, anything like that. Or you discover something.
And it is going to when it closes, it's going to just like bind its legs kind of. And so it's just going to just tip over.
Nice. So it lands in the, so it's actually like a retracting net. It's like a shrinking net. So yeah, it like covers it and it ends up like almost like hog tying the Scoffin.
Yeah, it was just that perfect like A+ shot. Like if you could have done it. Yep. So
yeah, I imagine you actually, you have like a little button on the side of the launcher that makes it shrink, and you hit it at like the perfect time that it's not completely encapsulated, and you end up wrapping the legs up, and it gets it perfectly. Awesome. All right, Carter.
Well, shit, nice job, guys. And he just kind of like, he pulls the God damn it, the kukri out and just kind of like waits to see if anything else happens. Like maybe there's another one. Like, this seems wrapped up. I think we're probably fine. Call it a day.
Go ahead and give me an awareness check.
All right. What is my awareness? Is going to be brains. Oh, shit. I threw that one out of the box. 7.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, so you kind of look around and you begin to hear kind of scratching sounds, like claws climbing up rock. And I'll just say and that's when Rosa remembers that scoffins oftentimes travel in packs.
So I probably should have mentioned they usually travel in packs.
That was his check though.
Right, but he said that I remember it.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it seems like there might be a few more. Shit. And he like sheaths the thing and he pulls out the disc and he starts fucking running for the cat. Oh, right.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a athletics check. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so he'll like come up and try to like scramble up around the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a 6 total.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, so that is a yes. So you managed to run up, kind of like grab onto the outcrop, lift yourself up, and just bump the disc onto the scoffin.
So he just yells, "Now what?" Now we've done this before, right? Like he would.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not stupid. Yeah. I got it.
Woo!
Is there a button or something that gets pressed?
And, yes, yeah. So on the disc itself, there's like a little interface.
Ooh.
Internet of Things. It's all connected.
Right.
It's like hit your watches. Hit your watches.
Yep. Hit our watches.
Yep.
Nope.
I'll click it. I
all
clicked it.
Click our Fitbits.
as probably about 7 or 8 pairs of blue eyes come over the croppings.
Oh no!
Oh, geez.
How did I forget that?
Nice kitty.
Back. Like shock my batons together.
And you so as everybody hits their watch, and you've gone and like hit the button on the disc, you begin to hear kind of a whirring sound, and you're suddenly sliced in half with hot and cold, and you see the flashes of rainbow lights and everything kind of gets stretched out as spaghettification occurs, and then you are slammed back together, all your particles reassembled, and you find yourselves back in your tubes. Why don't you everyone go ahead and give me a health roll?
I assume that like the camera sees as things start to shimmer, like 2 of the biggest cats just like fucking pounce and as we like sort of disappear.
Yep.
Okay,
It's like from the Matrix when he's talking about getting sucked down, and it's that weird noise of them getting down the tube and going out the other end.
I imagine it's the Thor rainbow like Heimdall, like that shoots down.
I got a 5.
I got a 5 too.
8.
I got
Wow.
a 6.
But you have a bonus on health?
Oh wait, my bad. No, so 5.
But
Yeah.
I got a 6.
Noise.
oh wow, look at that! Nobody throws up or passes out.
I got to start using my daughter's chintzy dice that I bought her instead of like the fancy dice I bought, because all those are rolling really good.
Yeah,
Anybody,
you managed
anybody
to,
want
yeah,
anybody Another wipe, anyone?
Everybody held it in. They're going.
I pull out my cigar, light it up again. Now that's a successful trip, right?
Good job, Rosa.
That turned out pretty good.
Yes. You have any plans for that salt, Carter?
The one that he licked?
I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna cook with this. This is good. Do you want a little bit?
Yes. Why don't we have a celebratory a barbecue?
I don't remember which one it was that I licked. I hope you don't mind.
Give it to me, and I'll start wiping them all down.
No. It's gonna change the flavor profile.
You'll wash it later.
You don't wash salt.
Woodbridge grabs a table lamp and holds it up to Carter and says, "Yeah, see, over the top, we'll be good to go. Salt on the top."
No, you don't wash salt. It's like the camera pans back.
Yeah, and so on the other side of the room, you hear kind of the hum begins to slow and fades out as the scoffin in the net is now also in a cage over on the other side. And you can see a couple of people in like light gray jumpers walk over, hit a button on the side, and it begins to whir up and float as like magnetic levitation induces, and it just floats just like a few inches off the ground, and they were able to kind of just push it along. And they say, "Oh, this one will be pretty good in the arena. Yeah, not bad, guys. Good job."
All in a day's work.
Woodbridge takes out the last wipes that Shelby gave him and wipes his hands off and does the whole. And throws it over his shoulder.
Your face too. I give him another one. Face too. Everything with exposed skin, please. Make sure you get everything with exposed skin.
All that sand. Get all the sand off.
Get all the sand. All the sand.
Meanwhile, I'm just smoking and drinking.
Just face covered in like whatever food you were eating.
There's like crumbs and shit still.
I'm like chasing after a worker to see if I'm going to get my net back.
Those cost money. God, I need that back.
Hey,
careful.
Nets don't grow on trees, you know.
That was custom.
Nice. Good job.
Good job, guys.
That was good. That was fun.
We were gonna do some monster fighting, but I feel like it's running a little late.
Yep.
So
just a little bit for us, especially over here.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really fun. It was really interesting. Like a really simplistic system that actually still works with like whatever you kind of want to mix in with your own imagination. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good thing about it is it's bare bones enough, but then it also lets you do all of the you're coming up with stuff yourself. It's not that rote. Okay, as we said, okay, I roll, I hit. It's that much damage. It leaves it open to interpretation, and you can play on it and come up with stuff. So yeah, it was actually really, really fun.
Or it has like the board game type like mechanics to it, but still you can add your own like, okay, you want this, then it's going to be based off of
there is a basis to it. It's rooted in something, but then you can go crazy, and as long as it's tied back to something, that was really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, not mechanically, but sort of like setting wise, it's kind of like Savage Worlds in that like you can take Savage Worlds and run any kind of game you want to run, from zombies to Old West to space frontiers to whatever it is. You can run it with that system, and then you just have to like stat out and a lot of the edges and hindrances and things like that, they all sort of port over. But you can do setting specific stuff. So you can use core to run anything. And really what Todd is looking to have people do is submit skins, like download Core Micro, make your own skins and upload them, because what he wants to do is create an omnibus, publish that, and then just share that with everybody who's all the authors, like revenue sharing sort of thing. Yeah. So for people who may be like, oh shit, I want to do whatever X thing, go ahead and skin it up and post it up on Drive-Thru, send Todd an email, reach out to him on Twitter and share what you got.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, this is really cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's I wish I pay more attention when Todd runs the games, but he makes it seem so easy that I don't really pay attention to what the GM does. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot, like, in terms of like I kind of started to stumble a little bit when it came to like the combat and action resolution and all that kind of stuff. There is actually more like mechanically that the GM can use, in terms of specifics about like the yes ands and the no buts and all that kind of stuff. But hey, the cool thing is that it's simple enough that it doesn't necessarily. I was able to stumble my way through it at least.
That was good. You did good.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah.
We don't like. We roll in combat in Daytrippers, and then he just figures it out and tells us, yes, you hit, you didn't hit, or, takes X amount of damage or whatever. Like, mechanically, we never, like, I feel the same way. Like, it's not we don't get it. We just don't really have to deal with it. Right, what did you roll? I rolled an 8 for shooting. All right, cool. You beat it. It's a yes, and you get an experience point. You do 2 damage or whatever. All right, cool. Fuck, that's awesome. What's next?
Yeah. I was interested.
Yeah, and that's what's cool too. So in in more long-term campaigns, I mean, even if you're just doing like a multi-session one-shot type thing, like experience, you get for every yes and you get 1 point of experience, and for every no but you get 1 point of experience.
Okay.
And also for killing stuff.
If that's
what you're doing.
Yeah. Or succeeding at an encounter, so to speak. Yeah.
I'll buy that.
Remember, an encounter isn't always a combat.
For sure.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
And you came up with some weird ass characters.
Well, that's the fun thing about like open stuff like this is either if it's the character or the gear and stuff like that, you can go crazy with it. Yeah. And as long as the person running it says, "Yeah, that makes sense," you're not taking the piss out of it. Then it's a lot of fun. You can tie a whole bunch of stuff together. So
it's funny. I almost imagined it like a TV show. Like literally like in like what you guys just did, like the characters that you have, like very much like I could imagine like you going on this hunt and there's like drone cameras like filming everything that you're doing.
Reality TV.
Yeah, exactly. It's reality TV. Like you have like a post-apocalyptic survivalist, like an 1800s trapper,
it does
a dude dressed up in riot gear. Like
it sounds like something you would see on like the National Geographic, like Sasquatch hunting. Like,
right, exactly. Yep. Yep. This dude decked out in like medical grade hazmat gear, like
just wiping down everything.
Right.
You should have had the gas mask, not me.
I had something like that. I didn't want to put like a full gas mask, but just like a little surgical
It's like the
mask.
Medical mat. Yeah.
I like that. I mean, it's like half the fun is coming up with a character and what they would do in that kind of like scenario you're giving us.
Mm-hmm.
My original thought was to do the full like South Park Steve Irwin and go for the thumb in the butthole, and I was like, that might be too much, maybe.
Stick my thumb up his butt.
Oh,
we may see Carter Allen in another RPG.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
You always keep your character sheet because you never know when it's going to come back around.
Yeah.
Hypochondriac healer.
Right.
I love it.
That's a good one.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for playing along. This
Hell
was
yeah.
awesome.
Thanks for running.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us. It was great.
And by all one person that was watching. Well, I know that one other. I know that one person was watching, and there was another person, and
It was
yeah, it was you. Damn you, people!
I tried posting the link to.
Thanks for boosting the numbers.
I tried posting the link to. Yeah, I'll probably tell it after we're after the broadcast.
All right. Bye, strangers.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.